question is, if your loved one passed away, will you be okay bringing them back in the shape of a robot? Because these robotics companies are kind of promoting this idea as one of their use cases for their robots, which feels like a hard no for me, having lost a parent years ago. So in case you're wondering what this is all about, a few days ago, UBTECH released 50 hyper-realistic humanoid robots, which they termed as always loyal, to combat loneliness and other tasks that I'm going to tell you in a moment. But the most standout use case is to customize them in the shape of one of your loved one. In this video, we want to talk about features of these robots, the pricing, and whether it makes sense to make copies of those who have passed in the form of robots. And if you want more such tech videos that sounds too good to be true, please consider hitting the subscribe button so that you don't miss the next one. I'm going to keep tracking this story and will update developments in the future. And also consider supporting the channel by buying memberships, as it will help a lot in 2026. And thanks a lot to the one member that I have as of now. Thanks a lot. So back in 2024, Realbotix also had the same idea of making a robot copy of people who have passed away. And also, in case you're buying the robot for loneliness, they could customize it to be the face of your favorite celebrity, but they have since gone silent on this use case, maybe because they never gotten any customers for this. Now UBTECH, which is based in China, where the demographics are somehow different, and with the high loneliness rate in China, including their neighbor Japan, they have released these robots that are marketed as a solution to loneliness. The AI-powered robots can hold conversations, provide emotional support, remind users to take medication, and monitor well-being of patients. So this new humanoid robot features a silicone skin, a lifelike face with the eyes that follows you, lashes that blinks, and 88 degrees of freedom across its full-sized robotic body. So degrees of freedom, they just mean joints in the normal world, and this is to make the robot to be as human as possible. It even has what UBTECH calls a dual pivot biomimetic cervical spine, which apparently gives it a more human-like movement. It is equipped with an emotional aware LLM that the company claims will help the robot recognize and respond to find great emotional states. It is designed as a proactive companion, responding to human interaction in a fraction of a second. But basically, as of now, it's not going to do anything for you, despite being expensive, and of course you're about to get to the price in a minute. But as of now, this is just like having a conversation with a chatbot on your phone, and it's even a lot of work because you will have to take care of it, make sure that there's nothing on the floor for it to trip over, make sure it is fully charged. Then also, because this robot, as of now, it cannot be able to climb stairs. In case you live upstairs, you'll have to carry it to your bedroom. And when you get it into the bedroom, remember this: you are not allowed to do any bedroom stuff with this robot, and you cannot be able to mod it to do bedroom stuff with it. Please, for those who are going to ask that question in the comment section. And also, because the robot is not made to be a domestic worker, it means the only value you're going to get from it is conversation wise. So I don't know why anyone needs this as of now. That is, if you can just talk to AI on your phone. I guess they need that physical presence, and it makes you feel like you're not alone and tricks your mind to believing that you're having a conversations with a human. I think with the way technology has been going and the way life has been developing so far, some people are so lonely that they don't have anyone to talk to, and the only thing that you can be able to talk to or make you feel like you're close to a human is getting one of these robots. So when it comes to pricing, it's broken down as follows. There's the U1 Lite, which cost about 17.6 thousand USD, and at this price, what you're getting is a semi-tox edition that allows users to sit and move their heads, eyes, and mouths. So this is just the upper body that you can be able to carry with your kitchen, maybe bedroom, and anywhere you want. But there's nothing that it cannot be able to work on its own. It's just this top part of the head. So in case you want the full one that can be able to work, then you'll have to spend more. And in this case, it is $25,000. The second tier is the U1 Pro. So the U1 Pro, it costs around 25,000 USD. And at this price, what you're getting is a full body model that is designed for daily companionship. It can be walk around on its own, so you don't have to carry it around. But it's not that advanced in terms of features. So in case you want the most advanced one, you're going to get the U1 Ultra, which also it comes in different varieties again. with the cheapest model going from $129,500, while the most expensive one going for $145,700, which is like a lot of money. So at this price, you're getting the flagship model, which is dynamic. As dynamic movement, you can be able to customize it, and also it comes with premium materials. In terms of customization, it's not that type of customization where like you're going to be able to use it in a bedroom and that kind of stuff. Customization, they mean like you can be able to change the face to be like anything that you want it to be, or in the shape of someone that you want it to be, or in the shape of a celebrity, in the shape of anything that you want to be. And also they can be able to clone their voice, so it will be sounding like the shape of that person at that price, which is very expensive. And I doubt if most people are going for this expensive version. I think majority of the people might be going for the U1 Pro as of now. And also the company goes ahead to say that the initial batches have already been sold out and they're planning to begin delivering in September. So when it comes to grieving, I think people go through it differently, and the use of robots and AI to create digital physical copies of deceased loved ones has been seeing a lot of development or growth in that sector. Like there's a lot of people are going for it, that even there's an industry for it right now, and it's called grief bots or death bots. And it's said to have some benefits of comforting people during this transition phase as they come to terms that the loved ones have gone. But psychologists have shown that for those left behind, turning to an artificial likeness often complicates the natural trajectory of mourning rather than erasing it. Psychologists observe that interacting with these digital replicas traps individuals in an organizing cycle of denial, stalling the necessary emotional relocation required to heal from loss. Then you have vulnerable mourners who are facing potential financial exploitation by corporations charging ongoing fees to maintain the software. I remember the time when it happened to me. There's these moments where you stand next to the grave and you feel like maybe the person is going to wake up. You wait for that moment and it never happens. And it takes you a while to fully accept that the person is gone. But now in this case, you have a robot of their face, which is close by and standing with you, working with you all the time. I don't know how this feels like, but I think it will delay the healing process. In a way, it can give you that hope that they're still around. But again, you'll remember that you either already buried them, or you cremated them, or they're already gone. And then you again feel that pain. Once you feel that pain again, you're feeling here. You're seeing this robot and it's giving you hope. So this is going to keep you in that loop, and maybe it might take you a longer time to heal and move on. So I don't think that this is a good thing, but I guess it depends on the person. Sometimes grieving is very difficult, that people have to get help from others in terms of psychological assessment and stuff to do like that. So maybe something like this also can help, but it looks like it can also just keep you in that same state. Could I be able to do this or not? I don't think that I can be able to use a robot for that. I think you just have to go through it, and with time it gets better and better, and you get to a point where it doesn't hurt as much as it used to be, but it still hurts, but not as much. So thanks a lot for staying around to this point, and see you in the next one.